Good afternoon. Today I'm sitting in the sanctuary of Christ Our Hope Anglican Church in Natrona Heights. And what is the address here? 926 Painter Avenue. And your name is? Father John Bailey. Very nice to meet you. Nice to meet
Thank you for taking time. This is a first for me. I've not had the opportunity to interview an Anglican father, nor have I done an interview in Allegheny County, so this is two firsts today. So how long have you been here in Allegheny County?
I've been here at this worship site since 2013, so it's 10 years.
And what are the times of your services?
10 a.m. on Sundays.
That's very good, 10 a.m. Hey, now you were telling me before about a grief share program you have here at the church. Could you share that with the people?
Grief Share is a popular, nationally known grief share support group. There's videos and workbook. Lots of experts are on the videos, pastors, counselors, people who've gone through deep grieving processes, and it's really helped a lot of people here. We've been running it probably 6-7 years, and I've seen it do wonders for people who stick with the 13-week program, take the workbook home, read through it, and really participate in discussion. So I'm really blessed to be able to help people in that regard.
And this is for people who have lost a loved one,
Yes.
and they just are having trouble coming to terms with that.
Yeah, and I think anybody who's lost a loved one could use it. It's just, are you willing to be a little more open and share with it in the group? I find it is more comfortable for most females, but I've had a few guys take it too, and it's helped them.
And you also mentioned something about diapers.
Yes,
I didn't
yes.
quite remember it, but tell me about your diaper program.
Well, I personally haven't changed any diapers in a long time. My kids are off and grown now, but we know that in this area there's a significant number of people who live below the poverty level. So we offer free diapers for anyone who qualifies for public assistance, known as WIC or SNAP or food stamps. And that shows up once a month, second Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we'll give you 50 free diapers when you bring us that WIC or SNAP card. And after one time showing us that, you don't need to bother bringing all that in for another year.
So you've been in this church, I didn't do the math. How long have you been here?
10 years.
10 years. But you've been in the ministry longer than that.
I've been an ordained minister for 24 years. I did 4 years of campus ministry at WVU as a layperson for 4 years before I went to seminary.
Oh, tremendous.
Yes.
If somebody were to walk in your shoes for a week as a minister here, what would they be surprised? A layperson, I'm talking, somebody who's not familiar with the ministry, what do you think would surprise them about your week?
Well, I would say my job has a lot of ins and outs that I can't say are absolutely exciting, but there's this stuff that has to get done, and some of that, of course, is my weekly sermon. That's no surprise. And some of that is going to see people who don't come to us anymore. They're in a nursing home somewhere, and I've got to see about 7 or 8 of those people once a month, because that's what we feel like is part of being faithful. And I have some lay people who will help me out with that once in a while, but I do most of those visits. And I think surprising, I take out the garbage. Every Sunday after church, the garbage is going to go out Monday morning. I take it out because if I don't, it usually doesn't happen.
Right.
My next door neighbor, Jim here, who's a member, he'll do it for me when I forget, but he's often busy as EMT and firefighter, so, but he does help me out when I need it.
You just don't snap your fingers and people take out the garbage. You have to, the buck stops here, I suppose.
Right, exactly.
Now you've been in the ministry quite a while then. So if you had a time machine and you would go back to the day before your first day in the ministry, what would you warn yourself about? What would you tell yourself? What surprises were ahead that you weren't prepared for?
Well, if I were to include my campus ministry days, I had a lot of ideals. I'm going to just storm 20,000 students at WVU, and they're all going to come, and it's going to be great. So I've learned to be content with small turnouts. Most churches in America have under 100 attendance, and we happen to be one of those privileged many that we're under 100 in attendance. And I'm okay with small numbers. I've learned, I'll say, I wish there was always more. You always want more people to disciple in faith, but I've learned to be content with whoever shows up. And if it's a bad day where the weather just doesn't cooperate and not as many people or no one shows up, we'll try something else again. And I don't get overly discouraged with numbers, because I've seen God sustain this ministry for almost 25 years. And if you throw in the campus ministry, I guess the ministry I've been involved with 28 years or so. So I'm blessed that I've been able to continue. And I know people's lives have been touched through the people who are
That's
here
good.
and some of the words I've said.
Yes. So what do you think the challenges are that we are facing in 2023, and what are your fears for the future of the ministry?
Yeah. Well, again, our numbers are small, but I'm proud of this church.
It's a beautiful church. The building, I know the church is the people, but it is a very beautiful church.
Yeah. I'm proud of this church and the people. We do a significant amount of outreach for the size church we are. We also go to the low-income housing district just a few blocks away and have done some ministry there. COVID got in the way of that, and some staff have changed. But we often are reaching people who really need us. And our diaper pantry does a substation to that low-income housing district. The same day we're here, we're over there, because a lot of people don't have cars. They just can't afford cars, and they walk to work or take the bus to work. So we try to help them in any way we can. But I'm not sure I answered your question.
I don't even remember what the question was.
Okay.
So we're good.
All right.
We'll edit that out.
Yes.
So you're a family man.
Yes.
Yes.
I've been married to Karen for 30 years, and we have 3 children, 2 daughters who are married. My second daughter is just newly married. My son is just starting junior year of college, not too far from here. And so it's been I've been really blessed to be married to Karen, and she's been a real help to me here with teaching Sunday school and heading up a lot of these outreach projects we've done. And she has her own career after we raised our kids, and so that helps make the ends meet, as they say. But she's been a real partner in my ministry, and I can't talk enough about how blessed I am to be a married man to Karen all these years.
That's refreshing to hear. There's a lot of ministers out there who get no support from their spouse. They're either too busy, or I've even known some spouses to go to other churches other than what their husband is ministering at. I don't know how that works, but I guess they make that work.
Yeah, that's true. Some spouses choose to go elsewhere, but Karen's really been a partner. She always felt like she would marry a minister. Now, after doing this for 28 years, maybe the romantic ideas of what that meant.
I didn't know there were romantic ideas about that.
You think she'll be, and she's been devoted, but it's become more real. The yes has become more real, and what's involved with that yes, being a partner in ministry is, I can't say any better. It's just become more real to her, and there's been some pain. People leave, get offended, whatever, but we keep at it, and God has been good, and we keep being blessed by persevering in what God calls us to do.
Good. Now, if I were to come here on a Sunday morning at 10 a.m., I assume, being you're Anglican, you're conservative.
Yes.
What could I expect? Would it be a lot of Bible teaching or more traditional religious views? What would a normal Sunday look like?
Yeah, I would call us conservative, right of center, theologically, all those sorts of things of the social issues of the day and theology. So I would say this is a liturgical church. We have communion every Sunday. When I do funerals and people who are Roman Catholic, they say, boy, it's so similar. But I would call myself an evangelical. So I grew up Roman Catholic, and I learned to realize that the liturgy really had meaning behind it if you really paid attention to what was going on there. But I also enjoy and practice evangelical preaching, salvation by grace, if you know Ephesians 2 and all that sort of thing. That's very much who I am and where I come from. But I think the liturgy does offer meaning to people. And there's been several people, there's a book written decades ago called Evangelicals on the Canterbury Trail. Because there were some people who came from some sort of experience and they wanted some, no offense to Baptists or anyone else, they wanted something what they would, in their own words, call deeper or something like that in terms of their worship experience. And so they find meaning in the liturgy and the aesthetics thereof. And so there have been several evangelicals, and some go even further than Canterbury to Rome or Orthodoxy or one of those other ones. Michael Card, I think, is one of those, a contemporary Christian guitarist and singer who went to Orthodox, and others have gone other ways. But I'm pretty well here at home in Anglicanism and find it to be, the term they call us is the via media, the middle way between Protestants and Catholics. So,
Did you grow up Anglican?
I grew up Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholic.
Yes, and I had an evangelical conversion when I was at IUP. Lots of people partied at IUP. I had an evangelical conversion of November my freshman year.
Oh, that's terrific. Now, we have a minute left or so. Could you give the people watching an encouraging word to just a little bit of hope, or
Yes.
if you want to just encourage them to come back to church. Those who are still hesitant to go back to either this church or another church of their choosing.
Yeah, I would just say, if you haven't found a church home, I think we're worth a try. People enjoy folks who come here think the people have been not only friendly, but engaging and welcoming them and helping them through their different aspects of life. But I would say if you don't want to come here, you could go somewhere else, because I think these little churches have something to offer. They're
I
often
agree.
filled with people who have a deep faith and who want to encourage each other along the path of life and let God be all part of that process. So, yeah, that's what I'd like to say.
All right. Hey, it was very nice meeting you, and thank you for sitting down with me. It's been a joy. Until next time, God bless.
Thank you.